So the last thing that women hate in men is...
Wow, that's savage.
And this guy basically trained this AI system to rizz up girls for him.
Was his name Bailey?
He got like over 20 dates from it.
Girls would hate a guy, and girls do hate a guy that would like dedicate their entire lives for her, become obsessed with her, drop everything.
I've seen like forums where girls are like, I want a man to lay down on the ground.
But do they actually...
And they literally worship me.
There's a definite line between confidence and arrogance.
The number one thing that men look for in women is big.
Is that top of the list?
Welcome back to this week's episode, guys. So lovely to have you all with us. I'm Jamie, this is Chris, and Bailey on the left,
Bailey,
where he belongs, massive
Hey, guys.
lefty. And today's episode is a good one, as we always say every single week. What's it about, Bailey?
A few things that girls look for in guys and that guys look for in girls. But on the flip side, also a few things that girls hate that like their boyfriends or guys do. And on the same thing, a few things that... Which one did I say?
Wait, should we
the
reset?
one that we haven't gone yet.
Yeah, so basically what we've done, we've gone to Google search, the trustworthy Google, and we've actually typed in the top 3 things that men find attractive in women and the top 3 things men hate in women. We've also done the reverse, where we've also searched up on Google.
The guy who tells you not to worry about.
Bro, literally, you did that way better. So
We've also, on the flip side, make sure you stay till the end of this podcast where we talk about the top 3 things women find the most attractive in men, but also, you ready for this? The top 3 things women find the least attractive in men.
Oh my God.
this is going to be good.
So
guys love
basically,
throwing me
we're
under the
going to
bus.
get the phone out. We've actually got them now ready.
We have.
So start us off, Jamie. What is the first one?
Okay, so the first thing that women look for in a guy. You ready for this?
Oh, here we go.
It's a juicy one. I can choose one of the 3, but I'll go with this one. Athletic in build.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's such a shock.
What are your thoughts on that?
That's fair.
I wouldn't say you're athletic, Chris. You're more big.
Wow. I've just played soccer since I was like 3 years old.
I'm saying in my mind, athletic is more like like a smaller guy than
I
you.
used to play soccer my whole life and did little athletics and swimming and tennis.
I'm just saying, I look at you as like a bodybuilder, you know?
Yeah, now I am.
So what do you reckon is an athletic? What do you think is a girl's perspective of an athletic physique? Because I think it differs. Guys,
Correct.
Vision athletic physique, and I see Chris, and I'm like, he's an
Wait,
athletic.
You reckon Chris is
beast.
athletic?
I reckon, yeah.
And can I go on that actually? So it is funny you say this because women's perspective on an athletic build and someone that they think is jacked or has a good body is actually very different to what men think. You know, it's funny. Like I remember even when say someone like Justin Bieber, when he'd do a concert and he'd take his shirt off, girls like, oh my God, his arms and his chest are so big.
got abs.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, I'm like,
He's like 70
Thank you.
He
kilos.
was nothing like me.
I love Justin Bieber, but I was like, wait, what? He's got muscles.
100%.
And it's funny because when I was at my most built or, you know, most athletic, I would, you know, go to the beach or something and 90% of the compliments are from guys.
That's a big thing in the gym, eh?
Yeah. in
But
the- in the gym
what
culture.
ways do the guys swing is the question as well.
No, straight guys, gay guys, it doesn't matter, but which is fine. But they would always comment. Very
That's
rarely,
true, that's
like
true.
girls would say, "Oh, he's maybe too big or too muscular or too veiny or anything."
Yeah, it definitely differs. I definitely think.
That's true. Yeah, I think for me, like as a guy myself, I think of like athletic as I said, I think you're big. You're like a bodybuilder to me, Chris, you know? I think athletic is someone like, I don't know, like Ronaldo.
Yeah, but Ronaldo's the GOAT.
He's obviously Ronaldo, but I'm saying that sort of like slimmer physique.
I think Zac Efron in Baywatch is pretty spot on in what I think girls these days like. However, it is trending towards more of a dad bod now.
I think the whole shredded phase is sort of like
getting
coming
over,
to a
bro.
close. Yeah, girls are finding themselves, in my opinion, more attracted to guys that aren't as shredded anymore.
Reckon?
They go,
Yeah.
he's too ripped. Like,
I'd
they're
love
like-
to know if there's any girls listening. Let us it'd be good to have your thoughts and opinions in the comments because I actually don't know.
100%.
Yeah.
Means you have to
Yeah.
work.
Who's your dream physique?
Yeah, name a celebrity.
We'd love to know,
Exactly.
and then
But,
so we can replicate it.
100%. All right, ready for the second one?
Yeah, go.
So the second thing that women find the most attractive in men is sense of humor.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Sense of humor. I couldn't agree with this more, in
Me
my
too.
opinion. Not. I'm not saying just because of me, but I know for a fact. I know guys who aren't the most attractive guys, don't have much going for them, are simply funny, and they would always pull girls. They would always be successful. Girls will gravitate towards them, and girls love them. So I can definitely vouch for that.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me with a smile, Bailey?
No. I was just thinking of who's the guy that's been in the US that's pulling all the big models. He's the comedian.
Yeah, the guy that you showed us the other day,
something-
right? What's his name?
The skinny one.
The guy that
yeah.
has the sense of humor like Pete Davidson.
Yeah, Pete Davidson, that's him.
Oh, him.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a sense of humor like him because it's him.
Oh, so you're talking about Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
You showed us a guy on TikTok that has a similar humor.
Yes, I did.
But yeah, Pete Davidson's a good example.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I think
he looks gaunt.
But why is that? Like, is it the fact that
I know why.
girls, they want to be like it's the entertainment, the high energy, like, relax. You can be relaxed around. They don't take life too seriously. It's like, easy to be around and it's fun and enjoyable. Is that why?
I think just fun. Yeah.
I think a few things because obviously, yeah, a bit of context. I've done.
I'm him.
No.
I'm that guy.
No, basically, yeah, I've been doing social media for about 10 years. 8 of those years, you could say, I was doing comedy in the form of prank videos mainly. And what I noticed was something very interesting about the female psychology. So when I used to actually meet females, and it didn't really matter if they knew me or not, what I would always lean into is, I guess, being funny. And I think, naturally, naturally, I'm an easygoing guy, so it wasn't too hard. But what I actually noticed was the comedy element of a guy or the sense of humor element of a guy breaks down that barrier where the girl feels intimidated and now all of a sudden she feels comfortable. I've had a lot of girls I've dated in the past that say to me literally, "Hey Jamie, for some reason it's really weird. You as a guy, like I've never felt more comfortable around a guy as I have with you." And I think that's massively dependent on the fact that I'm easygoing, but my comedy represents my easygoingness.
But also, you're not afraid to make fun of yourself, and you're not trying to be perfect. And she just feels like, oh, okay, I don't have to be perfect.
Exactly.
He's funny. He's lighthearted. He's making fun of himself. This is gonna be mad, right?
So she can be relaxed and be herself essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna read the next one out for what women look for in a man. Okay. So this one's an interesting one. Makes over 200K a year.
Oh,
Wow.
Was that seriously in the
Well,
Google
man.
results?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
200K AUD.
Yeah. It
Aussie
had a
dollars.
bracket, but it was 200K.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think look, girls in 2024 are almost, what's the word? Like they're looking for unrealistic things half the time. Because
Some girls.
I think a lot of girls are looking for unrealistic things in 2024. Because I think what's propagated in the media and in society is that anything that a guy does that is considered like masculine is considered toxic. And so I feel like in this day and age, some girls can have this kind of like Prince Charming overview of what they look for in a man, A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z. And if one little thing like, oh, they're short, doesn't tick the box, or like, oh, I get the ick or I cringe when a guy runs for a bus, it's a deal breaker. But then when it comes to the other way, when it comes to what guys look for in girls, we can't even say anything. We can't even say, oh, you know what? I want a girl with, for example, a low body count. That's misogynistic to say.
So yeah, what do you think about the 200K a year? Do you think that's a realistic, thing that women look for in men, or
If you're judging your whole future based on like a financial characteristic, then you're almost putting your identity of the relationship in them earning that amount.
True.
And I think, at least for me, for example, if there was a girl, even if she was like the most amazing girl, if I knew that she was with me for the amount of money I made, I think that would be a pretty big red flag. Because say, for example, you're an entrepreneur. 1 year, you're worth 10 mil. Your business is worth 10 mil. There's an economic crash. You're worth 500. You're worth 100K the next year.
Yep.
Then what? Your relationship's done?
She just leaves you?
So I think, whilst I think it doesn't come from a bad place though. Like the reason girls say it, I feel, is comes from a place of security, knowing that you can provide
100%.
and give them
Correct.
a life that they want to
good.
live without having to be worried about, oh, is he going to go run off and like burn all our cash? Are we going to be living in a hut? Like, I think it comes from a genuine place, but I think the way that it's like perceived and like they're holding onto that is also a bit tough.
So maybe it could be corrected to like someone who's ambitious and strives to only, have it some
100%.
some form of business, or have multiple income streams.
100%.
Yeah.
Always
Just
upskilling and has a
upskilling.
mindset of I have the
bettering
ability to
themselves.
make make things work, even if it's not
Correct.
working right now. It's almost like they're buying into like the character.
as opposed to like a numerical figure.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's fair.
As Bailey just said,
Shouldn't
I
be
agree.
a deal breaker.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think that the relationship has to have other foundations that withstand the tough times. As you said, Bailey, you can be a millionaire and all of a sudden broke the next day, especially in business.
Yeah, I'd love you to do like a street interview of that, like asking girls what their expectations. If you haven't done already, that would be pretty cool.
That's
You know,
cool.
asking people out in the city like, what salary do you think a guy you're dating has to be making, and actually get some real girls' opinions out in the city. Like,
It's
could be
so
another
true.
video you do.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, no,
I think a lot of women wouldn't have an idea of what the average man makes or what's a realistic amount.
Yeah, no,
You
probably
know?
not. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, definitely.
Next one.
All right. So the next one we have being good in bed.
Being good in bed is what girls look for in men.
Yes.
Is that a big one?
I think
Yes.
Yeah,
we're
it
going to have interesting opinions on this one. You start first, Chris.
I think obviously this can be looked at in so many different ways. Obviously, a woman, wants to be satisfied with whatever that means for them. It could be the actual physical act, or it could be more the caring,
Yeah, the romantic
nurturing,
side of
the
it.
romantic
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
feeling valued, feeling appreciated, loved. So it could vary for either one. I do think it's important. I don't think it should be a deal breaker, but I do think it's important. I do know, speaking to women, they have always said that it is something that is important to them.
Okay. Here's the question. Most girls would say they don't want a guy who's like, maybe slept with like, a lot of chicks.
This is good.
Depending.
This is good.
But
How does he
if we're
get-
going to
how does
say,
he get the
how do
reps?
you get the experience if you're not doing the reps?
How does he not get-
Unless you've had experience and you're doing the reps.
that's good.
How are you going to meet that standard? But also then girls are saying, oh, no, like they get jealous and they don't
Correct.
want you to have been.
Correct.
I don't know.
That's
It's
a
just an
great point.
interesting, like, I'm surprised that that's
Yeah,
there. How do you
exactly.
get the experience
I-
if you're going to try and go walk the path?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think from someone like myself that used to sleep around a lot, and now I've made a vow that I won't sleep with a woman until I'm married to them. So essentially, I'm celibate till marriage. The way I see being good in bed has completely changed.
Okay.
So I think that porn culture and this sex culture has definitely become so rampant to the point where we expect like bedroom theatrics to be rampant at all times,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what you see in social media content, porn, whatever you see online is unrealistic.
100%.
And so when it comes to sex and intimacy, I think the actual act is so much more than just a physical thing. That's why for me being a Christian, I believe that no sex before marriage is very important, because what you're doing is, as much as that is a valid opinion, and I'm sure many women have said that is a deal breaker of some sort, I actually believe that a good sex life is made within marriage. So you don't actually have to necessarily practice it beforehand, but the intimacy and the love that you share with your partner almost supersedes that physical act, because it's worth so much more now. Finding a loving partner, finding a really good woman as a whole, and having a relationship built on a more solid foundation, such as, for me, God or other sort of like principles, is much more important than testing the car before you drive it.
I agree.
Interesting.
However, spanner in the works. What if a guy's amazing, perfect, whatever it is, but he's not good in the bed, and she doesn't feel fulfilled in that sense? And then what she's gonna always look, like in the neighbors,
That's-
in the
yeah,
neighbor's
but
yard. Is she gonna
that's-
look elsewhere? Is she gonna want to cheat? What's gonna happen
Well,
if she's not fulfilled?
as
Is she gonna bring a third person?
As I said before, like sex isn't just an act in itself.
I
so
agree, I
within
agree.
marriage, you're supposed to serve each other. So the man and the woman, obviously, essentially in the Bible, it talks about sacrificing your body for your partner. So essentially, God doesn't want a unfruitful sex life, and that's not how it was made in the first place. But within that context and having to know someone to the degree that you're going to have to know your partner that you're married to so well means that through communication and through obviously the love that you share within that context, you're going to be able to create a good sex life, not necessarily from having experience before marriage, but more so within that confine.
So I think something that people who this guy, bro, relax. So I
You guys
think-
getting real touchy.
I think whether you are religious or not religious, something that you can get from what Jamie just said is, I guess through communication and I guess when he said through a religious aspect, once you're married, you guys can learn to improve your sex life and learn more about each other and find out more things. it can improve. So even if you aren't religious, spending the time to get to know each other, asking each other what someone else likes could eventually improve your
Well, maybe that's
physical
why it makes
sex life.
sense why God said you're not supposed to do it before marriage because you don't even know. You got no expectations or bars to be set. Like, maybe that's one of the reasons why it makes sense not to, obviously.
But as humans, it's
easier
not
said
like
than done. But
yeah, it's like as human beings, we're instinctive creatures. So you put a guy and a girl in a room, like it's like you don't have to think about what to do. It's just natural. You're gonna do it anyway.
Play cards.
Exactly. So yeah, it's one of those things that I believe sex can be built within marriage. Just because you have no experience doesn't mean you can't obviously have a fruitful sex life within marriage with the same person.
100%.
So you're saying it's not a valid point in your opinion.
For me personally, no.
Let us know what you guys think.
I don't think it's a valid point for me personally.
And guys, we don't have to. You guys don't have to agree with us. We don't all have to agree with each other. It's just personal opinion.
Yeah.
So this is just from the internet. Doesn't
That's
mean
right.
it's true.
yeah.
It's just what they've got the
Bro,
statistics.
everything on the internet is always
That's
true.
true. That's true. All right. Let's move on.
I reckon we move on to the things that men do not like in women.
All right. So, what men hate in women.
I'm excited for this one.
Are you ready?
I'm interested.
I
in
might
this.
get triggered.
So the first one is talking about past partners.
Talking about past partners is something that
I
men
couldn't-
hate women do.
I couldn't agree with this more.
Agree.
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 Because as a man, like, you've committed yourself to a woman, and the last thing you want to do is be compared to her past. They're in the past for a reason, and doesn't matter whether you think you're better or less than this person. Even if they're the most beta person ever, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to know about them. I don't want you talking about them or thinking about them. If you're my partner, I don't care. They're in the past. They're in
Okay,
the past.
so here's
That's
a
my
question
opinion.
for you. If you're, if a girl, not your actual girlfriend, but theoretically, if a girl that you were
It
going to be
starts with
dating,
H.
He has a girlfriend, by the way.
if a girl you're going to be dating had a past of 500 bodies, and would you want to know?
Negative. No, wait.
Would you want to know?
Would you want to know? Because you're saying
I think
I don't
there's
want to
a-
know if it's in the past. Forget it. It's not a thing. But let's say she's
Okay.
changed. She's become.
Let me clarify.
Yeah.
I don't want to know specifics about a past. Like if they're like, oh, Adrian, he's so
Okay.
big.
So you want to
and
know
heavy.
numbers though.
He used to do this in the
yeah,
bedroom.
yeah. I don't want to know
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think every relationship at some point. I'm not saying every relationship, but most relationships at some point would have that conversation of, are you a virgin? Have you slept with how many people? X, Y, Z, and you kind of have an idea.
Okay, but let's not make it sexual. Let's make it like, maybe an experience. She's trying to tell you that like the last guy that I was with didn't pay much attention to me, and he didn't take
This
me
is
out on
good.
nice dates.
Yep.
And
This is a
she's
good point.
telling you that to be like, this is what I like, and this is why my last relationship didn't work because he wasn't caring or didn't take me out on dates. So she's telling you that so that then up front and is very clear. Okay, I know now
Okay.
that she likes X, Y, Z.
That's a great question.
Before you speak, I think if in a broader sense, it's fine. So if she's like, look, in the past, I've had guys who haven't listened to me, didn't give me enough attention, because I think that's valid.
Right.
You need to learn from her mistakes.
Exactly,
That's fine,
yeah.
and I agree. But not specifics. I don't want to name where the restaurant they went to.
Right,
What
yeah,
positions they did. I don't want to know any of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a broader spectrum for you to improve and learn on the relationship. Sure.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I have a bit of a point. I think that, firstly, if your girlfriend is talking about these things 100%, I think that there is that kind of boundary where she shouldn't use specifics and almost respect you for it. Because as a man, like, we do feel protective over our partners. And I think that, knowing certain details that can be almost communicated differently is irrelevant. As you said, you can talk about something that they used to do, for example, not giving enough attention in a respectful way, not comparing you to the person, but
Correct.
more so saying, hey, listen, like, I just want to be upfront with you. Like, I'm a girl that, for example, my 5 love languages or my 3 love languages are,
XYZ.
X, Y, Z. But you don't have to say, well, this guy didn't do it, because then it actually turns into a bit of a rant, like you're her girlfriend complaining about your ex.
Yeah, and it's a competition as well.
That's
You
right.
don't want to be competing with the ex.
But I
Yeah.
put a bit of a spanner in the works.
Okay. We like spanners.
That's right. I know you do. So I remember in the past I was dating someone, and this particular person, she actually enjoyed talking about her exes.
Okay.
And she was talking about them literally telling me their name, very specific situations that happened and details.
Did you stop her? Or?
Well, the funny thing was that
I liked it too.
the funny thing was that hearing all these things, specifics, places they went to, all these little details that I shouldn't have been hearing in the first place, for some reason, I didn't care.
Really?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. It's because later on during the relationship, I realized that this person wasn't actually good for me, and I didn't even like them that much. Now, this was a few years back, but
if you really did see her as a future with her, you would have been a lot more triggered.
of course I would have been, because I would have been more protective.
So there was less jealousy.
There was less jealousy because I actually didn't like her as much as I thought I did. So I feel like to some degree that's a good representation of how much you like the girl. What do you think?
I just don't think a reason for her to talk about her ex is that maybe I might decide that I don't actually love her. Like there's many other ways to figure out you don't love a girl.
No,
as
of
opposed
course,
to
of course.
talking about
I'm
her
not
exes.
condoning what she did. I don't think it was right what she did. But for me personally, that was the moment I kind of realized, oh, you know what? Like I actually don't like this girl, and maybe I didn't like her because of what she was doing.
Yeah, exactly. I think you don't ever want to be operating in a relationship out of competition to expectations of, because you'll create this. Guys are very good at creating stories in their head of like, he must have been buying her flowers every week, and if you're doing actions purely out of like a place of trying to earn their love and respect or trying to be put on a pedestal, it's not the right intention and it's not coming from the right heart, and that will cause like I think a big barrier in the relationship, and it won't flourish the way it needs to be.
100%.
I agree.
All right, number 2, another thing that men hate that women do is blue balls.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Blue balls. Bailey, could you do you mind searching up the definition of blue balls for us? Thank you very much.
Yes. So
Why
the
not?
definition of blue balls is where, I guess,
He's still got his phone up like he's reading it. Bro, you're gonna wing it.
I'll wing it. Blue balls is basically where
It's some sort of sexual stimulation
Kissing?
without an ending in orgasm.
Sure. Yes.
I'm just going to say.
All right,
I don't
okay,
care.
that's
All right.
that's
So
interesting.
what do we think? What do you think? Do we think this is valid? Obviously, for you two guys who. Double D, double da.
No, say it. You
I'm
two
blue.
guys.
I'm blue. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
So
That's-
obviously, you guys got like 365 days blue balls.
Yeah, we do. And because we're on semen retention, that's why. Just for the viewers out there.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to hear your views on this because mine will be different.
I have a few points, yes.
Yeah,
you definitely have a point.
Okay, so yeah, obviously, blue balls in general, they're very uncomfortable for men. So if you stimulate yourself sexually or someone else does it for you and you don't obviously finish, there's a build-up of, you could say, fluid energy.
It's like a cramp it's like a period pain.
Yeah, it feels very unpleasant. In fact, I remember the first time I ever got it. I won't go into detail, but yeah, it wasn't a nice time.
Can you give us the details?
No, I don't think I can. Look, I think that at the current point of life that I'm in, I practice something called semen retention, where I actually just don't ejaculate at all. I did a whole year where I didn't finish once, if you know what I mean. And I definitely experienced blue balls a few times.
Was it painful?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
painful.
so do you agree? That's something that guys hate that girls do.
Yes.
Yes, I actually agree as well. It is quite painful. It's quite unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's just if it happens, it happens. You can't force someone to do what you want them to do if they don't feel comfortable with doing that. So
That's right.
It is what it is. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, it happens less to you. Less to you
Not
guys.
the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. Like you do get over it. Your life takes over. Whatever. It's just unfortunate.
Your life's over. What?
Your life's
Your
over.
life takes over.
Yeah. Cool.
But I do resonate with a lot of guys who say that it is a
Yeah.
thing that they hate about women.
Agree. Yeah.
What do you think, Bailey?
Yeah, agree. It is painful.
I think girls, sometimes do it. I'm talking about my old life. I think girls sometimes do it as a power play
Yes.
because they know how frustrating it is sometimes for a man to not obviously, release. And I think the girls do it almost as like a tease or almost to show that she's in control.
I also,
Wow, yeah,
I also think
that's
sorry,
interesting.
and I also think guys use it to actually get some as well. They go, "Oh, no, I'm gonna get blue balls," and it's like,
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what
All
you
right,
mean.
cool. Next one.
Bailey wants to move on from that one.
Oh,
He probably has blue balls right now.
Yeah,
that's why.
literally.
"Oh, stand up." Yeah. Anyway,
You're on the retention still.
100%, brother.
Boy.
Wait,
So
wait.
is Nick, by the way, if any women are watching. He's also on
sometimes
retention.
there's a breeze that comes through, and Bailey just can't stand up.
Yeah, easily triggered, you know.
What's the next one?
So, number 3 reason what things that men hate that women do is alpha women.
Oh yes, preach.
This is
Preach.
interesting,
I'm
right?
100%.
Okay, yeah.
No, so that it's pretty much just that. So alpha women. So I think it ties into, you know, dominance, like trying to take control in the relationship. I don't know the extent of it, but it's, yeah, I guess it's controlling, being like, I guess putting it on the guy, like telling him what to do. Yeah.
I'm in full agreement of that.
Okay,
Full agreement.
Jamie, do you want to elaborate?
Yeah.
Look, I'm a traditional guy, so I actually believe that men and women are, you know, almost born to do different things. I think that men and women are equal in value. However, men and women have different strengths and weaknesses. I think that's why the family unit, you know, husband and wife complements each other so well.
Well said.
And I think that as a man, I believe that men should be the leader of the household. And men do have an innate ability to protect and provide and lead. So therefore, I think when a woman acts to alpha, it's almost like she doesn't sort of know where she sits in the relationship, and there could be some sort of imbalances there. Because if you get two people that are both alpha, it's almost like you can literally characterize it as like yin and yang. Yin and yang, two conflicting energies of the same, sometimes in some situations don't always work out.
It's almost competing again.
Competing, yeah. And so for me, if I'm looking for a woman, which, you know, obviously, you know, I could say that. I don't want someone
His
that...
DMs are open.
I don't want someone that, you know, wants to almost take over my natural inherent role as a man to want to take care of her. And that's not a misogynistic thing to say either. It's just the fact that I literally don't want to be competing with my wife who wants to almost take hold of what I feel like my responsibility is. And in turn, I don't want to do that to her either. So whatever her role is within the family and whatever we agree on, I don't want her to feel like I'm competing with her to be something that I believe she's better at than me.
So do you think that's a you specific thing, or you think that's something all guys should sort of
all guys
look
should
for in their relationship?
All guys should, in my belief,
Yeah.
look for that.
I think personally, I do agree with you in some points. Basically, I've grown up, you know, obviously seeing what my family and learning from my own family, and you know, my dad's always been the breadwinner for our family. Mum's, you know, be fortunate enough to be a stay-at-home wife, and she's taken care of the kids, done a lot of the cooking, cleaning, you know, the traditional, you know, as you say, old school way of life, and so I do think it's amazing. I've seen how well it's worked for them, and I do admire it. However, I do know times have changed. I do know that it is a lot of the time associated with income. A lot of the time, the alphaness, the way a woman, you know, or a man portrays themselves is usually linked at some point to how much money they make or whoever's the breadwinner. Now, I do know times have gotten more expensive. It is hard to, you know, just be a single income household these days. So I do admire a woman that does, you know, strive for success, can have her own business as well. In no way I think, you know, only the man should work. If the woman is aspirational and wants to do something for herself, great, you know, that's amazing. And I would never tell a girl she didn't need to do that. However, I would love to be at a point where I can provide for her that if she didn't want to do something,
So she has the option.
If she didn't want to, I could give her the option to let me take care of her, nurture her. I will always do that, but I'm talking more of the financial side. I always want to be, you know, the supporter, the protector, somewhere that she feels safe. And I think that comes from the man being the alpha. But in no means does that mean I'm saying women shouldn't work, women shouldn't have aspirations or goals. And I think it's a lot of the time, I guess the media or some people make it seem like it's
Misogynistic.
and the media makes it misogynistic, because it's saying that men are saying women shouldn't work or shouldn't have an income or shouldn't have goals, and I'm definitely not saying that. But I do like
Would you have a problem if your woman earned more money than you?
So this is an interesting question. To be honest, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would prefer to earn more than my partner. I wouldn't have a problem with it because at the end of the day, I see it as she's supporting the family as well, you know. And at the end of the day, if she's very successful, I'm not gonna. Who am I to cut her down and make her not want to do that? I'd love to earn more. I'd feel personally, just being honest, I'd feel better.
Yeah.
And by no means we're saying that this is the truth. This is the way. This is just our opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can have different opinions. Bailey could have a different opinion. But this is just our opinion. This is what I've seen, and I've seen what works, and this is what I want.
Yeah.
So personally, in the perfect world, I'd love to earn a lot of money, that enough to, support my wife. I don't really care too much who's making more. I just want to be able to support my wife, whatever that means, and my family. But yeah, to answer your question, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I would prefer to make more if God and the world allowed me to.
I love everything you just said. I think that's super spot on. I think as well, these days, sometimes girls have to be alpha out of necessity because of their relationship. I think that if the guy isn't stepping up to the plate, it's almost like if the guy is unambitious, say they get fired from their role and they're not playing their role in the relationship, a lot of girls do it out of a way of like necessity, and they sort of have to or support.
And it's almost like mothering.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree, and I think it's more of the necessity side. I agree with the topic. Me personally, I wouldn't want someone that's like trying to control me or be like the head and sort of like tell me what to do kind of thing. But at the same time, yeah, I think that's that perfect balance. Like what you said, Jamie, like we have our roles, and if the girl you're dating or the wife or your wife all of a sudden becomes really successful, who are you to say like, oh no, now that you're more successful than me, I'm going to end things.
Yeah.
So I think it is tough to kind of like blanket it. But yeah, in an ideal scenario, as the man, I just think it's more fulfilling if you can be. I think innately we're wired to want to be that provider and want to be the man of the house and want to be the breadwinner. I think that's the way we're wired, and I think you're more fulfilled and you feel more satisfied, and the relationship dynamic is a lot stronger if that's the case. However, I don't think it's a be all end all.
Yeah.
And I think you should be with someone that, regardless of that scenario, because life's kind of a long journey, right? There's going to be times where, as the man, you're crumbling and you need that wife or that support system to be standing by your side and be like, no matter what happens to you, I'm going to be by your side. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to stand by you. On the flip side, same, like, the wife might be going through the same thing. And that's where the guy, I think, particularly plays a strong role in being the central network kind of thing.
Yeah. And I want to say one more point. It also depends on the specifics, right? So if a partner, she makes more than the man, I think as long as she's not trying to put it on the man, make him feel inferior, make him feel small, make him feel, like he's not supporting her, he's not the man he thinks he is, then yeah, he's going to feel small, he's going to feel insecure, he's not going to feel like a man. But if she's still like, hang on a sec, like, yeah, okay, numbers, whatever, you still look after the family, you're a great dad, you're a great, partner, you always make me feel safe, you're a gentleman, chivalry, all these things, then I think it's okay. But it just depends on how secure she can make him feel as well. So
perfect, bro. I think you nailed that one on the head.
Yeah. It's a hard one because obviously as men, we can't help feeling the way we feel about, wanting to be the protector and the provider and the breadwinner to protect our family. We also, we also acknowledge the fact that females and women, especially when kids are around and kids are involved, they have a massive duty to obviously raise the kids when the men are working, for example. So for me, in terms of like, if my wife was to earn more money, I agree there should be nothing stopping a woman from achieving as much success as she wants to, if she wants to work. For me personally, I would want to give my wife the option to work. I wouldn't want her to have to work. But then again, I think that like for me personally, as Chris, you said, I would feel more comfortable if I was, earning the majority of the income for my family.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're moving on to what men look for in women, okay? The number one thing that men look for in women is big booty and tits.
Is that top of the list?
That's top of the list, man.
Top of the list.
That's top of the list.
What list are you using?
Yeah, Google's really spitting out.
I reckon you made up your own list for this one.
No, I swear.
Men look for big booty.
I think
what websites you going on?
I think
bro?
it's quite vulgar, to be honest. Do you want to dive in, Bailey?
Yeah, so
What do you think, Bailey? Start us off, please.
I think it's facts.
You think it's facts?
Hey, drop the mic. We're done.
Yeah, I think you can't
end of the
deny it.
episode. Nah, I mean, like that language is a bit vulgar, I think. But
I agree.
Sorry, Shakespeare.
I think that the concept is
Thou
facts.
bosoms.
Yeah, I think like if you're a guy and you're saying no, that's not me, cap. Like we're wired to be visual. It's been since the dawn of time. This is the way we're wired. Guys go after girls that are appealing to the eye. So I think it's 100% true, and I think I don't want to be that guy that says it's the most important because it's not long term, but I think it is a very critical factor for every guy on whether they entertain a girl.
So what if the
for
girl
a
had-
potential relationship, right? So the thing where the concept where like as soon as a guy meets a girl, within the first 5 seconds they made a decision on whether they're wife material, girlfriend material, friend zone, or they're just not interested at all.
Yeah.
What about wife material?
Yeah, girlfriend, wife material. I think long-term relationship potential, right?
Yep.
I think you
5
kind of make that
seconds.
judgment pretty quickly.
Wow.
I don't know about 5 seconds, but that's kind of what the statistic
Okay.
is. So
5 seconds for Bailey. Interesting.
yeah,
That's all he needs.
That's all you need, brother. 5
yeah,
seconds is a
so
long time to
I would
love.
agree. I think there's a level to where like, there's all the other factors are massive, but I think the looks is a big part on whether you are even interested or not. I think straight away. So that's my opinion.
I think this gets a bad rap because realistically, a lot of people don't want to say it, but what Bailey's saying is true, and I want to go further with it. So I think when you first see someone, you are initially attracted to their appearance. Okay, the first thing you see, they haven't spoken, you've got no vibe, you are instantly either attracted to their appearance or not. Then what keeps you there is their personality and their characteristics. So I think, unfortunately, it is a big play. It is a big play. It creates the initial attraction, maybe even attraction enough for you to pursue someone or be allowed being pursued, right? So big booty and tits, obviously, as we said, is quite vulgar. I don't think it's the be or end all. I don't think it's the end of the world, and I don't think it's the most important thing. But I do think it is important because I think you do have to be, physically attracted to your partner.
Look, with that statement, I think that there is some truth in it. I think overall attractiveness is very important. I think that sometimes, especially in the Christian faith, I think it gets downplayed slightly. I believe that in order for you to be attracted to someone, you want to be attracted to many traits about the person. And I think seeing someone that looks like they take care of themselves is an overall, it gives you an overall sense of comfort that this person, wants to grow in life. So I think that attraction definitely is important. I think that obviously viewing someone that takes care of their appearance means that they're a hard worker inherently. Big booty and tits, quotations. Look, I mean, yeah, guys are visual creatures. We can't help that, as you just said.
But it's so broad.
I think we're referring to like looks in general. Like
Looks in
the
general.
big part of it, that's not
I agree.
important.
It's
I
so
think
broad.
Athletic physique, like the size is not part of it. I think it's just
Correct.
physical attraction what we're drawing to.
How long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
a big
Like
booty?
face, I think face, like physical attraction, face, that all ties into it as well.
And you can't help it. It's like when you say, for example, like you meet a group of people, you can't help who you're attracted to. So the one, or however many you are in the context, let's say you're attracted to one in a group of 5, you can't help that. It's like a chemistry urge.
It's like subconscious.
It's subconscious, and I think there's nothing wrong with being attracted to someone based on they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And as I said before, like I do think that people should definitely pay attention to how they look because, as you said, Bailey, like it's the first thing someone notices. But then obviously looks can also be deceiving. Okay, so we're on to the next bullet point here. So something else that men look for in women is a woman that's respectful. Yes, no?
100% agree.
100%.
100,000%.
That's like that should almost be
I
like
think,
top of
I
the
think
list.
that should be it.
That's
as
a
well.
deal breaker for me. I
But
think
wait,
respect.
if she's respectful, it's a deal breaker.
If she's not, or if she is, like she needs to be respectful.
Oh.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
She respects me. Get out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I think so. What I've learned is that women and men look for sort of like 2 primary characteristics amongst what we've told you guys today, and a massive one that women look for in men is love, and men look for in women is respect. So it's like if you're a woman watching this,
100%.
like how you feel loved by a man is how a man feels respected by you. It's the same feeling, and I think that's obviously due to polarity and due to obviously like our inherent roles as male and female.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree. And this comes back to, briefly what we talked about before, whether a girl makes more or less than a guy, as long as she has that respect, as long as you feel valued and have that respect, I think you guys can get through everything. I think it's so pivotal.
Yep.
Respect is, and it goes both ways. I know we're not talking about that, but it goes both ways. I think in a relationship, having mutual respect, if you have that, then you guys can, usually overcome most things.
100%. I think you guys nailed it. I think we're good.
Yeah, and just one more thing on respect. I think that, as men, we obviously want to protect and provide for the family. And I think that having a woman that respects you doesn't just like give you like this nice feeling like, oh, she appreciates me, but it also kind of symbolizes trust in your decision-making skills. So if you're a man trying to lead, your relationship or your family, I think the respect element is like, hey, Jamie made this decision, and although maybe like I don't agree fully, I respect him enough and I trust him enough to, I guess, go with what he says. Not in all cases. Obviously, I really appreciate, my partner having input, but I'm just saying like respect as a whole also translates into trust.
Yeah. One more thing, just adding to that, I think as soon as respect's gone in the relationship, it's on its way out. If the especially from the female side,
Correct.
if the woman in the relationship doesn't respect the man, it's only a matter of time before it's done. So
I agree.
without respect, there's no relationship.
agree.
I think that people sometimes forget is that being in a relationship isn't all about you. It doesn't matter what pleases you
agree.
all the time. It's not just about you anymore. Like you're literally joining forces physically, mentally,
Yeah,
spiritually
you're
with
one.
someone else. So
Yeah, I like that.
you're gonna have to you're gonna have to be willing to compromise to some degree with your partner.
100%.
And so like when you're by yourself, you have the autonomy to do, I guess, whatever you want. No one's gonna stop you. But then when you're with someone, you obviously have to show that respect to say, hey, listen, I know that like we're in a partnership now in this relationship, and I'm willing to give up a part of myself for you as an honor to our relationship. So I think
Love that.
that's a massive one.
And before we get onto these next ones, I think now's the perfect time to do a little note from our sponsor, Getaways.
Sydney is a very big city, and you don't always get this view everywhere. This is the most iconic landmarks in the entire city, in the entire country, most likely. And shout out to Getaways. These guys have been amazing to us in terms of allowing us to use their facilities to do this podcast every single week. So if you guys do want to check them out, make sure to go to
There's
getaways.com.au
heaps.
or look in the link in the description below.
And another thing that men look for in women, which is a big one, is a zest for life.
Oh, yes.
This
Zest-
is interesting.
zesty.
So just
I
to
love a
explain
zesty
for everyone,
woman.
Love
just
a
to
zesty.
explain for everyone, it's sort of like always looking on the positive side, looking on the bright side in life, always seeing the good in people and things around you, right? So it's almost like having that spark of positivity. That's kind of what it means by a zest for life. You know those people that you're around, they're just like always happy,
I think
always looking
every
on the
guy-
bright side.
Every guy knows. Every guy knows.
Yeah,
that.
I 100% agree with that one. So
I agree as well. I think that I've seen it more with younger when I was younger, or with younger girls in general. But they have the youthful, like the such a positive outlook on life. Their dreams can be accomplished. Everything's like so bright and happy and positive, and it just brings you up. It just makes you happy. They're a ball of fun and sunshine, and they make you want to spend time with them. They make you happy when you're with them. They bring you up, and I think if someone can have that characteristic to really just from their aura, from their vibe, to make you feel good and happy, and I think that's so amazing. I think it's powerful.
Yeah. I think energy is contagious. So I think women need to understand that, like, as guys, we have like a more difficult life in many ways. We have to, I'm not saying women don't as well, but I'm saying in general, like in a relationship, in a family, guys definitely, a lot of the time are out working and have a big responsibility for the family. So I think having a woman that has that zest for life and that really good energy can sort of like, the guy comes home, he's had like a really tough day at work, everything's gone wrong. For example, me, I run a business. So like, everything happens in one day, like everything can change in the blink of an eye. So I would love, for my partner to have that sort of happiness that when I'm around them, no matter what mood I'm in, if it's serious, if it's like, if there's been troubles in my work life, for example, I can come home to a positive woman that's going to uplift me and allow me to have energy for the next day to keep going, And I think that, like, as you say, Chris, I have definitely noticed that like the more youthful girls carry that a lot more. But don't forget, like when you're around someone, whether it's positive or negative, whatever energy they carry rubs off onto you. So if you're with a woman that's always like pessimistic about something, oh nah, like you can't do that, or like, you're dreaming too big, then I don't want that. What I want that. I want a woman that's going to elevate me, to help me achieve the dreams that I have for myself and my family. And I want her to make sure that she's, contributing to that in a positive way.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think for me, I'm like that as well. I'm someone, everyone who knows me knows I'm always looking on the bright side. And I get that from my family as well. So for me, as someone who's never ever looking at the positive, always looking at a way to see the positive in life, look at the bright side of a situation. I think I would be so triggered if I was with someone that was always on the flip side of that. So that it's an absolute deal breaker for me. I think, and life's long. If you're going to spend, think about how many hours you spend with your partner who you choose for life. You want to be
40, 50
always,
years, maybe.
and everything's perspective, right? if someone's always looking on the bright side, life's going to be beautiful. If you're always looking on the negative, it's going to be negative. So I think that's a big one as well.
We're not saying don't be risk adverse. We're just saying that like have that like positive element of like looking on the bright side or
even
seeing
in people,
the good,
seeing the good in people,
especially in a relationship.
We all agree.
Yeah.
We like that one.
Yeah, but also like say if there's conflict, right? There have been times in my past where I've been, in some sort of conflict with the person that I'm seeing. And I remember vividly there have been moments where, she wouldn't sort of like give me the benefit of the doubt. She wouldn't see that like, okay, maybe Jamie like did one thing wrong, but and actually you taught me this, Chris. I remember you and I once spoke about it a couple of years back, and you said like it's very important for both partners to see the good in both of them. So when conflict arises, as it naturally will, you're not just going to have this lens of like, oh, everything they do is wrong. You're going to have that positive outlook on, hey, you know what, we're in conflict, but my positivity and my my love for this person outweighs the thing that they've done.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree. That's cool.
And now we're at a very interesting part of the episode, probably going to be the best one.
That's why I'm tickling Chris, because I'm so excited.
I don't even feel it.
We're going to be talking about, from Google, things that women hate in men. So all the lads out here who've been waiting out for this, take note. The first one is a big one, 100% agree with this.
How big?
Is bad hygiene.
Ooh. Wow.
So for all the gals out there, don't worry, we're sorting you out. All the boys in the locker room are going to be having good hygiene. So you know where to look, where to find your partner.
Do you know what? I feel like guys often think, oh, you know what? I don't have to shower. I don't have to shave. I don't have to do all these things because I'm rugged. I'm a man. But is that true? Like, I think having a beard's cool and all. Like, I'm trying to grow one, but I'm Asian, so it'll take me 6 years to do that. But I think if I didn't wear deodorant, then yes, that's a problem.
There's a difference between rugged and no hygiene.
Yeah.
I've seen rugged guys who are good looking guys, but they still take care of themselves.
Still clean, yeah.
They're still clean.
Exactly. And bro, it's 2024. Like, how hard is it for a guy literally just like go to the chemist, get some shampoo, get some deodorant, get some tooth floss, make sure you spend an extra 5 minutes in the bathroom every morning, and that's it. Like, it's not that hard. It's 2024. We've got chemicals everywhere. You use the best that you can with them.
Yeah, we're talking about the basics here, but they're all quick things that you can change. Like, even tongue scraping, flossing, like I think I'm a big attention to detail guy. So I think if you're doing those extra little things, it puts you way above. It's especially, for a lot of guys that don't take care of themselves, you do these little things that you can literally change tomorrow. You can do these things tomorrow. You'll put yourself up in a whole nother caliber. So
I have a great story. So a couple of years ago, I had a really good friend, and him and I used to do a lot of work together. And the first thing I noticed about this guy was that he absolutely smelled horrible.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you. One day, I decided to sit him down and I go, listen, bro, do you like constructive feedback?
Distance, though.
Yeah, like social distancing, like 3 minutes.
I love how you prefaced it with that. That's good.
And he goes, yeah, why? Like, I'm always, down to, how to do business better and how to do relationships and stuff. And I'm like, no. It's about something else. He's
No
like,
way.
oh, okay, what is it? And he sits down. And when he sat down, I could obviously smell him because he was 5 meters away.
He was in the next room. We were Skyping.
Exactly. And I go, bro, like, I obviously don't want to be disrespectful, but as a mate, I need to tell you.
Have you heard of Rexona?
That you really need to fix your smell. In those exact words.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not
And he
like
goes,
you need to shower.
no. And he goes, oh, really? I go, yeah, hasn't anyone told you? And he goes, about what? I go, bro, you stink.
Wow, that's savage. But
And he goes,
I love that.
you
though.
need a good friend to
that-
tell you.
And he
I
goes-
would want to know.
And he goes, really? And I go, yeah, like, I'm not just like saying it for myself, but like other people talk about it as well. And I go, bro, like, I'm, as a friend, like, I'm telling you this because I love you and I want to help you.
Was
And-
it actually Nick?
It wasn't Nick, no. And
Because he doesn't smell ever.
And you know what the thing was? It was actually fascinating because from this conversation, as a normal human, you'd think, oh, I'm going to tell a mate the truth and he's going to hate me. We're going to have an argument. But he goes, bro, you're the first person to ever tell me that. Thank you so much.
He's like, I do stink.
And so the next day,
No,
He
that's
starts like thinking back of all the people that have like distanced themselves.
and so the next day, I literally go to Chemist Warehouse with this guy. I go, you need this, you need mouthwash, floss, you need this detergent, you need these this deodorant, you need stuff for your clothes, everything. And I go, you need a shower twice a day, all this sort of stuff. You never believe this. About 6 months later, I go back to visit him.
And he still smells.
No, bro, the guy smells better than me. He's fixed everything.
I love that, man.
Wow.
From that one little chat I had with him,
Yeah.
I go, listen, bro, like as a mate, I love you. You smell, let's fix it together. I'm here to help you. Bang. Now he's probably getting more work. He's probably got better relationships. Like everything would have been uplifted for him
Yeah.
purely based on that one chat I had as a friend with him. And it was just down to basic hygiene.
All right. So another thing that women hate in men, it's not showing interest. So obviously, I think there's always going to be a good amount of interest. You know, you don't want to get to the point where it's kind of creepy, stalkerish, obsessive, or you know, kind of you need to get an AVO or something like that. So I think a good amount would be, you know, showing interest, listening when she speaks, for example. You know, noting down mental notes of little things she mentions, you know, like things she likes, her favorite color, her favorite restaurant, listening to her day, actually shutting up and being, you know, interested in what she's talking about, when she's upset about something, when just little nuggets, little points that really show her that you care and you know, you're taking in what she's saying. So then later on, when you surprise her with her favorite this or that, or when you bring up something that she had talked about, she's like, wow, he genuinely cares. He genuinely loves me. And, you know, I'm not just talking to a blank wall. He's not just here for my appearance or for this or that. He genuinely cares about the person I am.
And let's not forget that girls in this day and age with social media and Instagram and stuff, girls generally get a lot of interest from guys, but it's not necessarily wanted interest either. So the interest that you put in a girl that's potentially your partner or someone that you like should be at a level where, you know, you obviously prioritize her in a lot of things that you do, but you also still have your own life. Girls would hate a guy, and girls do hate a guy that would like dedicate their entire lives for her, become obsessed with her, drop everything.
Yeah.
The woman still wants to see.
Some girls would. I've seen like forums where girls are like, I want a man to lay down on the ground.
But do they
and
actually?
they literally worship me. No, it's like
But do they actually want it, or they just say they want it?
Yeah, it's like a proper trend.
I don't know about that.
And but then they don't respect the guy, and then it doesn't go
Exactly.
long term.
That's
There's
a whole
no
other
respect.
thing. But
So essentially, like, you know, I believe that men should still have their own life, their own purpose, but obviously dedicate a really good, substantial amount of time into the woman that they're interested in, or that they're dating, or that they're married to. But there has to be that fine line. You don't want to be like rocking up at her house with flowers 6 nights a week, you know, begging for attention and that sort of thing. You want to show them interest where it's like, hey, you know, I really appreciate you as a person. I want to, you know, spend my life with you, or whatever it is. But let's sort of find that great, you know, that fine line, or that balance between us having our own lives, but also having one together.
I think the social media point you made was really good, because I think girls when they're younger, again, not all girls, but a lot of girls when they're younger, you know, look for the wrong kind of interest. You know, as you said, they might put up specific photos or videos or whatever, you know, make content, and they get a lot of interest by, you know, the wrong kind of guys, which they only learn about later. They learn later. They're like, I'm getting all this attention, but I don't even want this attention. This is not the right kind of attention. You know, a lot of women are looking for a man that they can settle down with, and they realize later on in life, once they're mature, that a lot of the guys here aren't the right attention.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the way that you operate in your life as a person will attract that sort of person that you reflect. So it's like, if I'm operating in a way where, you know, I respect myself and I'm not showing, you know, provocative things online, then I'm going to, you know, not all the time, but I'm going to likely attract people that are similar to me. Whereas if you're posting, you know, nude photos all the time on Instagram, you're going to attract guys that literally just want you for one thing.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's good. What do you think, Bailey?
Facts. I agree with everything you guys just said.
No, I'm not going to take that.
No, you've always got like an amazing Bailey rant to go off.
He starts with facts and then he just kills it.
He goes, he like lowers the expectation, then bang, just blows our minds.
I like that.
He's catchy with the hooks.
So I've got an interesting story.
I knew you did. That's our point. We just knew.
On the interesting, it's a funny story, and then I'll tie it back. So there's this guy I saw. This thing came up on Instagram, and this guy basically set up like a chat GPT, trained this AI system to rizz up girls for him. And
was his name
this
Bailey?
guy? Yeah, I implemented this method. But the guy was just, you know, an average, normal kind of looking dude. But he trained up this AI algorithm that was wired to like what girls are interested in, and it would talk and reply on like Tinder and Hinge and all these things. It would generate matches, and it would talk to these girls. It would do like the right timings. It would show interest in all the girls, ask them the right questions. That's and everything.
Crazy.
What does the world come to?
And this was just an average normal guy, like wasn't anything special at all.
Like, what's the AI called?
And he got like
It's a login details.
so many matches, and like the conversations were fruitful. He got like over 20 dates from it, just from this AI. And basically what he was showing, was like that. I think he was saying he couldn't get dates before. So it just shows it's not necessarily
Showing
about
interest.
him. It was maybe taking it personally, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not good looking enough, these girls don't like me. But it was actually the fact that he just wasn't showing enough interest or saying the right things or caring.
I wonder what did he use his photos and stuff?
Yeah, it was his photos.
Nick, can you go make a chat GPT bot just for research purposes?
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Thanks.
So there you go. There's my 2 cents.
All right, now we are up to the nail in the coffin for the last final point of what women hate in men. I didn't say like, I said hate in men.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Let's do it.
So the last thing that women hate in men is. Oh. This is an interesting one. Wonder what we're going to think about this one. It's cockiness or arrogance.
Wow.
Okay.
I think that's cool.
Okay.
Look, I can see, I can fully understand that. I think there's a definite line between confidence and arrogance. I think arrogance is the inability to learn and humanize yourself and humble yourself. And I think confidence is the ability to know who you are and stand firm in your ground and your beliefs, but always be open to improvement.
Yeah, confidence is knowing you may be good at something. Arrogance is thinking you're better than everyone else.
100%.
And I think that's very different. It's fine to know your values and your abilities, and to believe in yourself and think you are good. You know, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? You can be your own biggest fan. But it's different to thinking you're better than anyone else. I don't think anyone is better than anyone else, or should, act like they are. So I think looking down on people and definitely thinking you're better than other people is not a good trait to have. So I couldn't agree more.
He's got another banger for
I
sure.
agree. He's
got something in there.
What's he going to say? What's the thing he says?
He's going to quote
Spot
6
on.
Bible verses. a second.
Facts.
Yeah, no. On the confidence side of things, confidence is so important. But yeah, that you're right. It's a super fine line. What you said about arrogance is like almost putting yourself on a pedestal. But at the same time, confidence is so important. So it's like that pilot analogy, right? Like you don't want.
I told you he's got something in there, bro.
So I think
Been prepping for weeks.
people misunderstand humility in a way. Humility is
Yes.
being wholeheartedly confident in your abilities, but at the same time knowing that you can't do anything without God, and everyone has their own abilities and way of doing things. But that means like, okay, let's say, Jamie, you're like, I know I can smash an interview or a podcast because that's my gifting and my abilities. So say if you're a pilot, for example, you get on a plane and the guy's like, trying to not be confident. So he's not trying to not be arrogant, right? He's like, oh, so, he's like, yeah, guys, look, I hope we have a safe flight today. It's a bit rough. I hope we make it. I think I'm a good pilot, but there are some stormy winds out there. I'm just trying, and he's trying to be humble, right? That does not give you confidence that you're getting on the right boat and the right ship. And this is for the guys out there.
And the
Girls
right
want to
plane.
get.
Right plane.
Wasn't it a plane?
Sorry, plane, yeah. But girls want to
People
be.
are going to be like, he said no.
Yeah, clickbait. But yeah, like same in a relationship. Girls want to be with a guy that knows, has direction, knows where they're going. On the flip side, if you get on a plane, the pilot's like, we're having 100% smooth flight. There's 100k headwinds, but there's nothing I haven't handled before. I'm confident we're going to make it. This perfect ship. We've had everything checked. And then you're like sitting there like, all right, cool. I'm in the right ship.
Yeah.
Same with your friend group.
Plane.
Plane.
Ship.
Sorry.
You said ship twice.
I don't know why I'm saying ship. Plane.
Do you want to go on a cruise?
So that's why I think you hit the nail on the head between like confidence. Like you have to be confident, but yeah, that arrogance is just. I think you can tell the difference. When someone's just like looking down, like
It's
like,
ugly.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll shrug you away.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think that's
my
why.
2 cents.
I think that's why pride's one of the deadliest sins in the Bible, because if you do have that level of pride, which I guess equates to arrogance, then you're literally trying to emulate God, and you think you are God. However, yes, you need that reassurance that you are confident and you're within your ability to do something.
All right, guys. So that wraps up our episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed our, Google search of the top 3 best and worst things men and women do for each other and what they look for in each other. And hopefully you guys can comment and, let us know. Let us know your thoughts. Are they completely off? Is it completely unreasonable, or is it actually, spot on?
That's a wrap.
See you later,
It's a good one,
boys.
boys.